other benefits to the course that you didn't expect?
Just the volume of information you provided was really good. So, and I think pretty much if you're suffering from histamine tolerance, this course, you don't have to go outside the course. It just gives you everything you need. You don't need anything else. You don't have to do any more research. You don't have to look elsewhere for solutions or answers. It's all there. And it's all solid. It's all rock solid, the whole lot. So even when I did look out elsewhere, you know, there was nothing that I needed to know about outside of your course. It's all there. The whole solution. I mean, you've just served it up on a silver platter.
To let us know what life was like for you before you started the program.
Okay, well, my journey started probably a few months before I started the program, but I was still in quite a bad way when I started the program. But right at the very beginning, I was probably bedridden with antibiotics and just severe fatigue, congestion. Things had eased slightly, but I just could not resolve it. And when I first got in touch with you, I didn't even know that this was something that I could fix. There was no information out there that was saying this is something you can heal from. So I thought it was my forever condition that I'd have to put up with. But by the time I got to you, I wasn't as bad. Like I wasn't bedridden. I was functioning, but I still couldn't exercise. I had a very limited diet, which was predominantly like, you know, the low histamine diet, but it was quite restrictive.
It was very small.
Yeah, very small. And I was still like really fatigued. And just generally every day, every single day did not feel well.
And you weren't really able to do much in the way of work. And as you said, exercise.
Well, I couldn't do any exercise. So, for example, I'd go for a walk and then it would take me 3-4 days to recover from a walk.
Yeah.
I was so exhausted from just a basic walk. And every day I'd just have symptoms. I mean, they would vary, but I'd never have a day where I felt normal.
Yeah, yeah. And you had you'd had headaches and things before you started on the low histamine diet as well, hadn't you?
Yeah, so I'd had like quite severe headaches. I had dizziness. I had a couple of occasions where I got bad rashes. But the main thing was very congestion to the point where I just couldn't breathe properly, alternated by an extremely runny nose. And then the fatigue, that for me was a big one, you know.
Yeah. So the energy, poor sleep, all of those kinds of things. And you had some gut issues as well. You had some tummy troubles.
Yeah, I had a little bit, but that wasn't the predominant one for me. Like I did, you know, I didn't have the perfect bowel systems, but yeah, it was more in terms of the fatigue and the constant nasal congestion and just feeling like crap, not just not feeling well most days.
And unwanted weight loss too.
Yeah, I lost a lot. I lost a lot of weight. So I think I'm one of the very few people who wants to put the weight back on.
We get a few people who have that problem as well, you know, with the mast cells and histamine. We can kind of go either way. A lot of times I see people on both sides of that, not enough weight or too much.
Yeah.
And so with all of those things that you had going on, you're in a pretty poor place at that time.
Yeah, I wasn't happy. I wasn't as poor as what I was prior to when I was on those antibiotics that had triggered the whole nasty episode. But I wouldn't define myself as well, no.
And so when you have done this Happy With Our Histamine Method program now, and it's been 4 months or so.
Yep.
Let us know how that's been for you and what you've experienced, what improvements you've seen.
So, I mean, like I'm not at the end of my journey after 4 months, so I'll still get flare-ups. But I guess the difference is now the number of foods that I'm eating is a lot wider, a lot more diverse. So you've got that program where you've got the, you know, eat me, try me, avoid me. I've worked myself through all the trimes, and I'm fine with all those food groups now. So it's just expanded my food repertoire. And these days, I mean, I can go days without any symptoms. And then when I do get a symptom, I can usually pinpoint it now.
Yeah.
Before, when I was eating all my food, I couldn't pinpoint what it was, because it didn't matter whether I was eating low histamine or whatever, it made no difference. Or it didn't seem to make any difference. Whereas now I can pinpoint what things are. So, and now I can go for walks. I've got back into the gym. So, you know, like I said, my journey's not over, but I know now that I will get there, and it's not a lifetime sentence, and that I will heal from this completely.
Yeah, yeah. And you've had quite a dramatic improvement really in just 4 months. It's not a long period of time. So to be able to get your energy back to the state where you're able to exercise again, you're able to work, and you're not feeling crap every day, as you were
not
saying.
feeling crap every day.
You know, and your gut's better.
Yeah.
Your sinuses are better.
Yeah. Yeah.
You haven't had any more rashes or hives.
No hives. I've had no hives whatsoever.
And also some of the other things that, you know, you've mentioned as well, like just being able to eat out now.
Yeah, I have been able to eat out now. So my menu choice isn't like huge, but it has got to the point where I can go out now and I can pick something and I can eat. So I can meet up with friends. And so what I'll generally tend to do is like go low histamine for a couple of days beforehand, and then I'll go out and I'll have no ill effects from that. So I guess it's like I got to the point where even though I'm not completely healed, I know my bucket, you know, how you talk about the bucket concept, my bucket or my capacity to take histamine has improved.
Yeah. And now you're at that stage where you can start to dabble in increasing those histamine containing foods a little bit and start increasing that. Because you were on just a handful or so of foods, and now you can go out and you've got a much bigger choice and diversity.
So I can be selective in terms of I guess for me it's been able to get to the point where I can pinpoint more about what it is. Does that make sense? And then when it doesn't go quite right, so for example the yeast in the bread, I thought I'd try that, right? And it didn't work out. To me now the mindset is, well, okay, well, I'm not quite ready for that. I'll try that in a few weeks' time or a month's time or 2 months' time. But I know that's something that I would just slowly work up to.
Yeah, because I mean, for example, you've added in legumes.
Yeah, I've added in legumes, chickpeas. I had steak the other night. I have a couple of strawberries sometimes.
Perfect. So
things like that. Yeah. So, you know, like I said, I'm not there yet, but I know I will get there.
Yeah, yeah. You're just that close.
Yeah.
And were there any things that surprised you about the program and your results and what you got?
Well, everyone talks about, you know, it taking months and months and months. I think it happened a little bit quicker than anticipated. So, but obviously being an impatient person can never be quick enough. But, you know, I've also learned just to like go with the groove more. And it's just like, because I know it will happen.
Yeah, there's less anxiety.
Where, you know, if I never get back to being able to have like a full lasagna with a bottle of red wine, that's okay, you know. But I also know I will get to the stage where I'll be able to sit down quietly and have my platter of cheese and I'll be good. Like the healing the gut just takes a lot longer than just 4 months.
Yeah, but as you mentioned before, now you have the tools and all the information.
Yeah, so I can dabble, like I know which foods to introduce, and I think more to the point, I don't get upset when I have a setback anymore. I used to catastrophize that, like going, oh my God, I'm never going to get well. Whereas now I go, I just view it more in a detached, this is just an experiment, just to see how my bucket's increased, because see how my healing's going.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So I'm a more detached from it, more detached from the process of food. And I'm not afraid of it having a little experiment.
Yeah.
So I'm not afraid of trying new foods. And if it works out, that's great. And if it doesn't, well, I know I'll try that again in a couple of months' time.
That's really good to hear, because that's what I wanted to do, is bring in everything that I use and I knew and pull it all in together.
Yeah.
So you get the biggest bang for your buck.
Yeah. So you don't have to go elsewhere. That's it. Like, seriously, guys, just go into the program, forget about researching, forget about everything else, forget about all the other food lists, forget about everything. And just because everything that you need is there in the course.
Yeah. And, you know, with that focus as well, that really helps you get the results. Because if you're focused on getting everything you can out of the program and not getting distracted, then it really does help you.
So, I mean, you just literally just providing all the up-to-date, known information on it. And you literally don't have to go anywhere else for anything. Yeah.
And if you didn't start the course when you did, where do you think you might be now?
I have no idea. But I suspect probably not in such a great way, because I would have still been eating too much meat. So I probably would have had the right food that I needed to heal based on my personal gut microbiome. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah. And what would you say then to someone who's watching this now and is wondering about whether this could help them?
Yes, it can help them. Period. Yes, it can help them. And, you know, the journey might be longer than what mine seems to be, but who knows how long my journey will end up being. But I think several things I want to say to people is you can heal from this. It's absolutely, you can heal from it. And it's like, it's not your forever sentence. This is not your forever sentence. And I think, you know, the second thing I want to say is it will take time, but the program offers you all the tools so that you know that you will eventually get there. Yeah.
And that's a really important thing for people to know is, you know, I've been there and you've been there, and it's possible to improve our health.
Yeah.
And it is possible to get back to eating strawberries, which are high in histamine, and having steak and eventually eating even more foods and improving your gut health along the way by eating the right foods and improving your fear and anxiety around food and symptoms. And all of these things can happen.
Yeah, they can. So, you know, like I said, it's histamine intolerance isn't a forever sentence. Yeah, I mean, you will heal from it.
That's wonderful. Wonderful to hear. And is there anything else you wanted to mention before we go?
No, I think I pretty much covered it. Like, I just want people to know that A, you don't need to go elsewhere because everything is covered in this course. And B, I just want to reach out to people and say healing is possible and you will heal from it. And histamine isn't a life sentence. And yes, it might take some time, might take months and months, but you will get there.
Yeah. And, you know, sometimes it can seem like it takes a long time, but you can spend the same amount of time doing the wrong thing or not doing anything.
Yeah.
And not achieve any result.
Yeah.
So,
and the thing is that the results don't come overnight. You just don't wake up one morning and go, oh, I'm all good. But if you look at the pattern and look back over the time, then you realize what incremental improvements you actually have made.
Yeah, yeah. And really being able to notice and remember how far you've come.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, and you've come such a long way. I'm so happy. I'm so proud. And, you know, you've done such a good job, and it is all your hard work. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for talking with us.